going on, guys? All right, last week we left off where we were having the Burnout on 66 car show, and I talked about taking this engine out. Now, as you can see, I'm filling it back up with coolant because that was the plan. But if we're doing the machine work and getting everything done on an engine, I think it'd just be more beneficial to bring another engine to the machine shop that needs work instead of one that's already running. So this one runs great. There really is no issues with this thing. And it was rebuilt, I believe, previous last year. So there's no really sense in tearing this thing apart if it is running good. So what I ended up doing was found another engine. This is a newer model block. It's out of a Vortec, it'd be out of like a pickup like this. It's an early model Vortec, and it should have a little bit better casting than one of these older blocks. So now, I was talking to Dicus, the engine builder, yesterday. He was talking about different types of blocks and everything else, and I was curious if I needed to do a 4-bolt main or a 2-bolt main or whatever, and he said it doesn't matter. So I fully trust this guy. And what he said made a lot of sense. So basically a 2-bolt main, unless you're going at an angle for a 4-bolt main, there's no sense in doing that because it's not making it any stronger than it would a 2-bolt. And actually you're taking material away from your main cap. So a 2-bolt honestly should hold up a little bit better than a 4-bolt, unless you have angled drilled holes for a 4-bolt. So it didn't matter what I found. But then he had said that a newer model block has a higher steel in it, a higher amount of steel in it. So like the nickel blocks, like the 010s, casting numbers and all that, they're good blocks, don't get me wrong. I mean, we've built one that is holding 500 horse, and it's in the Braxton truck, so it's doing great. But there's a Vortec engine out here that I just paid $100 for yesterday. So here's the only issue though. Let me show you what's going on. See, it's raining out, so that's great for an open engine, but this is our engine. Now, looking at this intake tells me there was a TBI, so it's throttle body injection, not the spider injection like it would be on a Vortec. So now after seeing this, I'm kind of back and forth. Is it an actual Vortec engine? Well, there's a couple things that you can look at, and that would be your valve cover bolts going down the center and your Vortec bolts that go down less of an angle in the middle. So to me, I'm not 100% sure if this is a Vortec or not, but it is a newer model block. So we are okay on that. We should be okay on the casting. Did look at the back. It is a 5.7, so that means it's a 350. Now, all this crap needs to come off: power steering pump, water pump, pulleys, all that. We're not going to use any of this. We're actually going to be using a different water pump, the one that's actually on this car. So what's going to happen is we're going to run this engine until this one's done. Once this engine is done, we're going to put this in that, and then we'll have a spare. The only issue with this, though, is this engine is a tad locked up. So I went ahead and pulled the plugs. We're pretty rusty crusty, you know. I mean, that's not ideal. Usually you want those to look white, or at least black, but you know, it is what it is. Then we get in here to these valves. Those aren't too bad, not too bad. Then you're starting to get a little more rusty crusty. But then we look at this dandy of a side over here that you can't see because I got crap in the valves. Then, I don't know if you can see that. These heads might be junk. Possibly, but you know, we'll see. I did go ahead and take the intake bolts out. So once we lift this up, you guys will be able to see, maybe, if I'm stout enough this morning. There we go. So it's not terrible. It's not terrible. It is full of water right there, so that's awesome. Yeah, we need to get that crap out. So, yeah, there's your rusted ones over there. Anyway, so yeah, these heads might just be good for the scrapyard. We don't know yet. We won't know until we get this thing taken apart. But the engine is seized up, so that's not ideal. which I say seized up. I can get it to turn a little bit. I stuck a bolt in there. It turns about an inch, which is fine, not a big deal. What I do plan on doing though is go ahead and popping these heads off, getting everything else off the block, and we'll bring this thing to Dicus in pieces. That way I know that the engine's going to be locked up, and I'm not just wasting his time. I don't want to waste his time whatsoever. So that's what we're left with doing right now. And as you can see, like I said, it is raining. Garage is full, so I'm not going to be doing very much for this today. But I just kind of want to show you guys what's going on. What's going on, guys? All right. Well, we're going to start tearing this thing down. And I want to get this engine kind of free. That way, whenever I do bring it to Dicus, it's going to be a lot easier on him, I hope. Let me get this tailgate off here real quick. I got a workbench, so I could be able to move up here. So yeah, with this engine being locked up, like I said, it does turn a little bit, not very much. And whenever you take this intake off, you can see we got quite a bit of water in here. Heads are full of water, that is too. I'm sure the pan is, which not the worst thing that can happen. I mean, as long as the crank is okay, I think we're going to be good. So what I'm going to be working on is taking all this off, getting the valve covers off, take the heads off, and not get it bare block, but I want to be able to clean the cylinder walls and be able to turn this engine all the way over. That's the main goal. So that's what we're going to work on today. Okay, well, here's side number one, maybe. Dang. I thought, guys, hang on. She's coming. Oh, wow. Okay. Well. Got a little bit of rust. Which is not ideal. Preferably you want, in a rat rod, you want a rusty car, not a rusty engine. But shit happens. Okay. Well, definitely gonna take some sandpaper to this. Yeah, we gotta. That's that yum yum sauce. Jeez Louise. All right. Well, we're gonna turn the engine around and get the other side, I guess. We'll work on breaking this free after a bit. All right, well, we got this side off too. She's not looking like she's ready to rip down the track or nothing like that, but hey, we keep enough water in here to keep these cylinders cool. That was the main accomplishment. You can got ourselves a little spider nest. There's a little buddy right there. Yeah, little booger. Anyways, not pretty. Not good. So, I'm going to take a wire brush to this and hopefully knock all these down. We'll turn this engine over enough to be able to do that. Hopefully we can get it spun all the way around and not have something that's basically a paperweight. So that's the idea. All right, let's see what the inside looks like. Listen here, boys and girls. We're good. You know what? I mean, there's minimal water. You got a small block like this, and actually, I'll tell you what. You notice the OBS Chevys. I'd say anywhere from 90 to probably 2,000. They never really get over 170, 175 degrees. This is why. Because if you mix water with your oil, it should help cool down everything. And that is the case. You know, if it doesn't look like Yahoo chocolate milk, you have an issue. This right here is mint. I don't even know why we're rebuilding it, really. Throw some new heads, intake on there, and we'll just run this sucker. I think she looks good. So, yeah. Anyways, let me wipe my hands off here and we'll see what's going on. All right, now that we got some cleaner hands, I guess, let's see what we got. So down in there, you see it is puddled in that piston. All the skirtings on the pistons are okay on this side. Don't really know on that side because it's well, it's a little full. So kind of what I was wanting to do on this is, my main goal is I wanted to see if any of these were rusted, and which they're not. And I was kind of worried about that because a lot of times when this pan fills up with water, these will rust on the crank, the rods, I mean all the mains and all that stuff will just rust, and we don't want that whatsoever. So as long as the bottom end is okay, we should be okay rebuilding this. The only thing that I can see that really needs to be done is bolt this back on. We will wire wheel the cylinders and get everything rotating again. I am going to leave this in here just because it is going to the machine shop next week, so we will get everything unloaded, and that way all he has to do is just take 1 or 2 bolts out of this and should be good. So anyways, that was the main deal that I wanted to do, is take this off and see what it looks like. And here we are. Anyways, so yeah, anyways, we will wire wheel it either tomorrow or the next day. I gotta just remember to grab one, and we'll get it cleaned up. So after that, should be ready to drop this thing off. I mean, once we get a full 2 rotations out of this engine, I'm comfortable with bringing it to the machine shop and see what Mr. Dykes can do. So, looking forward to it. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to put this oil pan back on, and I'll see you guys whenever I see you. What's up, guys? All right, we are back out here. A little cold today, so we got our heated jacket on. It's living luxury. You know, can't afford a 30 by 50 shop. At least I can spare enough change for a heated jacket. I guess that kind of makes up for it. So anyways, I'm gonna set this camera up here, and we're gonna start trying to break this puppy free. So that's what we're gonna do here. Let's rock it. Dang it. Shit happens. Reason why I'm saying that is because, you know, I bought a spare engine to keep from having to take the one out of worthless, because it is a good running engine. And trying to keep from taking it out, so I thought, well, I'll have a spare, so I wouldn't pay the $100 for this block. Supposed to have ran, but just had a bad head gasket, which, you know, can't really see some things. So let me show you what we got here. Like I said, it's nothing on that guy, it's nothing on anybody. It just, shit happens. So let's take a gander. Okay, so first cylinder. Thought, you know what? We'll clean this up, kind of get that rust out of that. And you look over here. I'm like, oh, that has a heck of a groove in the surface there. Then you really get to looking at it here. If it'll focus. That there, my friend, is a cracked block. That's no bueno. Junk. This engine here just made a hell of a paperweight. So yeah, like I said, shit happens. No big deal. Yeah. It was a head gasket problem, even though it was a block problem too. That's fine. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm trying to find another small block. That way I can bring it to the machine shop by Monday. And I do have this one, like I said, but it just, this came out of a 98 Z71, well, Chevy Z71. It's a 350 Vortec engine, for sure Vortec engine. And I did plan on putting that in the next project. But now, with the Oldsmobile project, which I plan on doing for a build-off, hopefully, if I do get invited for that, I was going to use that engine in it, but I just had an offer on trading this engine for a 3/4 ton four-wheel drive Dodge frame. And it is a beefy frame. So if I ever wanted to do trailer or pull a trailer or anything like that, like, I would have zero issues pulling with the 3/4 ton. And if I went with the 3/4 ton Dodge, I would not be putting a small block Chevy in it. So that's where we're at. So I'm going to keep looking for another engine though. Hopefully we can get something figured out and just kind of go from there. It's all good. You know, this is part of the grind. You just got to play with the cards that you dealt. That's what we're doing here. So just got to be optimistic about stuff, and we'll be great. Anyways, that's it for today. I will let you know if I have any updates. Yeah. What's up, guys? Today's Monday, so engine goes to the machine shop today, right? Well, I couldn't find one. Nothing that I want to pay for anyways. I mean, not what they're asking. So, called buddy Jared, and he had found a couple on Facebook Marketplace down there in Tulsa, a little bit cheaper. Oh, he ended up running across a 2-bolt main 350, and oil pan and all that stuff was off of it. And he was actually getting it from a guy that rebuilds engines, but he only wants to rebuild 4 bolts. So he had this 2-bolt there, and he didn't really want it. So Jared ended up going and picking it up from him, and it turns very freely. And he actually sent, I believe it's 1 or 2 more sets of rods and a set of 40 over pistons. It's got heads, it's got everything in it. He sent me a video of it turning over, and yeah, it does good. So, and there's no cracks in the liners, so that's a massive plus. So anyways, he's gonna drop it off today with Dykus and kind of get a good look over it and see what all he's gonna need. And yeah, so we do have a good engine, and it is now headed to the machine shop, so that's cool. Anyways, just want to give you a little quick update on that. I'm not actually there to drop it off with him because I am headed to Oklahoma, but myself and the rest of the board members on the Burnout Foundation, we're actually going to be meeting with Landon's family, and we're going to be writing them the actual check from everything from the show. So that way they can get their money and they can do whatever in the world they want to do with it. To kind of be with Landon and do whatever his big heart desires. So, you know, that's the main goal, be able to make sure it takes a little ease off the family and lets them spend the time together without the stress of everyday life. So that's where I'm headed now, and hopefully get this video edited tomorrow, be able to put this out there for you guys. And there's gonna be 2 videos this week because I've been invited to the high class trash invitational build off for rat rods. So this is something Jeremiah Gardner's put together, and you know, we got to build a hot rod now. Not a hot rod, we got to build a rat rod. And we got to build one beast of a rat rod because the guys that are in this whole deal are complete badasses. They're very, very, very talented builders. And I'm definitely out of my league here. But I want to push myself, and I want to be uncomfortable. I want to be able to do something that I have not wanted to do. And that's going to be a big part of that, is taking the time to spend 1.5 years to build this thing. So we have 18 months to build a rat rod. Now, as you guys know, I do these things in 6 months, and I want them to be done because I get so burnt out on them. But with this being 18 months long, it takes a lot of stress off of trying to get it done in a certain amount of time, taking away time from family. So that is the plus side of this. But I am very, very, very stoked on doing it. It's going to be sweet. So, anyways, that's where we're at. I will update you guys so much more on that. Be able to get into this and give you a little bit more insight of what the rules are. And we'll go over everything and kind of talk about what the plans are. So, as of right now, that is it for this week. I appreciate you guys watching, and we're going to get into some very cool shit. Let me just say that. It's going to be neat. So, hope you guys can stick around, like, subscribe, comment what you want to see, and we're going to get in deep. So, anyways, thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.